Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to the 5th of August 2025. Time is currently 3:44 p.m. So about 15, 16 minutes, no, 25, 26 minutes left of trading today on an absolutely spectacular day on the market. Also a spectacular day on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. And I just want to say thank you to all your kind words in relation to the passing of my university friend, Kelly. Now, I originally was going to look at some interesting articles, maybe YouTube videos, a few other things that I was going to speak about in yesterday's video, and I thought I'll just leave it to today. But I was asked by my sister to pick up my two nephews and brother-in-law because my brother-in-law and sister are teachers, and she was going to drop them off at the head of Harrington Road. I wasn't exactly sure what time. I thought 4 p.m. So I started recording this video, and then I got interrupted with a message from her saying, "Hey, can you pick them up in 10 minutes?" And I had to stop that video, and I just decided to restart this video because for some reason I just don't like being interrupted for about 30 minutes. So I am actually redoing this video again. And in that video, I did discuss a few interesting articles briefly, not getting into too much depth, and one YouTube video. So I'll just mention this one YouTube video that I haven't yet watched. And I think this is quite relevant because we saw a fair bit of bearishness in the market, particularly Wall Street on Friday's session, even over the weekend. And it seems like that bearishness has just been washed away. But there's still a very bearish vibe out there. Now, there's all those usual bears like Stephen Van Meter, and even on this channel, which is Adam Taggart's, you just see on occasion some bears. And there was this video was released 6 days ago that I have yet to watch or even listen to, that I will eventually. And it's titled "Long Bear Market Coming" from David Hay. Now, the reason I like to listen or watch to these sort of videos or articles is because I am naturally a bull. I am quite optimistic when it comes to the stock market. And I think it's quite wise to do that because over time, stock market does rise. But I think it's very healthy to take or listen to the opposing views because that's how you learn and grow, not only as an investor, but also as a human being. And that is one of the problems in the world today. We all have our view, or a lot of people have their view of the world, and they stick to that. They won't listen to opposing views. They stick to their views, even if it's completely wrong. So I think it's very healthy, very wise to listen to opposing views. So these are the sort of videos I will listen to or watch, but doesn't mean I believe. I just want to get an opposing view. Anyway, so there was a few other articles I wanted to touch upon, but I won't do it in this particular video. So let's move on to the ASX today, and what a great day. What a great day. Everything's in the green across the board, even gold's up. Iron ore's up, mining's up, tech's up, small cap's up 1.62%. ASX 200 up 1.23%. I think we're going to struggle to find anything substantially down today. If we go to the best performing sectors, is any sector down? Maybe defensive, maybe Staples is down. Let's see if Staples is down today. No, even Staples up 0.43%. I don't think any company in the ASX 20 is going to be down today. I think it's going to be 20 companies up, none down. If one company might be down today, might be Woolworths. I don't know. It's discretionary up 1.76%, real estate up 1.55%. That all makes sense. Discretionary is not defensive, and we do see the worst performing sectors more defensive. So a little bit more risk on today. Real estate makes sense. That's up 1.55% because it does look like a greater chance interest rates will drop because of dropping labour market or a weaker labour market. So even though we are seeing a weaker labour market, not only in the United States, but I think also in Australia, I think I did read something about that. The market is saying that's positive. That's positive because that means interest rates are going to drop. But that's not necessarily always positive. If we actually go into recession, that's actually really negative for the market. So you do have to be careful in these sort of circumstances not to be overly optimistic just because the labour market is weak, because that could mean some bad times ahead for the overall economy. And gold's up 2.24%. I definitely think we're going to struggle to find something down today in the ASX 20, up 1.17%. So let's have a look at the ASX 20. Anything down? I'm going to say nothing. Nothing's down. Oh, yes. 20 up, none down. and the worst performing company, Aristocrat, and there's Woolworths. So if I had to pick a company down in the ASX 20, it probably would have been Woolworths. Yeah, maybe Telstra. Probably not as Aristocrat or Pro Medicus. I thought those two companies would have been having a pretty good day today. And iron ore is up. And the best performing company in the ASX 20, Wesfarmers. Interesting. I do like Wesfarmers, and I know some of you like Wesfarmers. My only issue with Wesfarmers is valuation. Okay, nothing else really to talk about when it comes to the ASX 20. So a pretty good day across the board. Make ASX reporting season easy. I actually did look at this in the previous video. I'm going to read this article after I finish recording. So I did mention it. And I did actually say, yes, buy winners, sell losers. Exactly my strategy. In fact, today I'll be discussing two companies that released winning results. And those two companies are in the top 5. One of them quite small, by the way. Okay, now on to the top gainers. I did go through this before I started recording. Now, that was quite a while ago now, so I don't think anything's changed. Nothing's really changed. Nothing really driving DGR and Heramed up today, if I remember correctly, but definitely Electro Optic Systems up 36.95%. Discuss that company because it is in the top 5. Now, there is a lot of positive sentiment in this area, this sector, and I have no doubt if Electro Optics released this particular announcement 3 months ago, the share price probably up 5%, 4%. Nothing like we have seen, not the reaction we have seen today. Anything else I really want to discuss here? Credit Corp's up, which results, one of the results company, and Recon. In fact, the two companies who I think released really good results today, Credit Corp and Recon, both up above 10%. But I'll talk about those two companies later in the video. Rent.com, I'm surprised that's up 16%, but fairly low turnover. They did release something today, but really didn't interest me. Now to the one company I do want to discuss, and that is Falcon Metals. I'm pretty sure I've looked at this company before, recently, up 24.5%. They did release something today. In fact, it was visible gold in multiple stacked veins at Blue Moon. Now, when they say veins, they're not talking about blood in a human being. We're talking about veins in a mining or the ground. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I talked about this company before. I'm not sure when. It must have been this Furge wedge hole at Blue Moon hits 1.2 meters at 543 grams per ton. That sounds pretty big. I'm pretty sure I discussed this company then. And the share price on that day rose 97.4%. You could have bought at 37.5 cents on that day at close. And the share price has rallied since then. This chart's going to look pretty good. Even though share price has been down, a lot of volatility in this company just by looking at the trading history. Okay, so let's have a look at this particular announcement from Falcon Metals. Not as good reaction as the previous one, but visible gold in multiple stacks vein. I don't think this is going to be any drilling results because it just says visible gold. So they saw some veins and they saw some gold. Third wedge hole. Okay, yeah, no drilling results here. They just also mentioned the 1.2 meters at 543 grams per ton. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for Falcon. This probably will be looking pretty good. Nice looking chart here. I would say a lot of day traders are in this, and we saw that brilliant pullback. Beautiful pullback into the support zone perfectly. I wish I was following this company a little more closely. Not only did the share price pull back, this was on the 29th of July, share price pulled back into the purple zone and the share price bounced off the 25-day moving average. There you go. A nice looking chart. But we need to see the share price get above the previous high. So that's 76 cents before I would say the share price is in a well-defined uptrend. Okay, so that's Falcon Metals. What it's called, yep. Otherwise, anything else in the top gainers by market cap? So Linus Rare Earths and Lucas, so Rare Earths, Codan, Drone Shield, Credit Corp. Yeah, nothing else I really want to discuss here. Go Elsight. I did take a position in Elsight, just to let you know. And that's it. Now to the top losers. And when I went through the top losers, there was nothing here. There was nothing here. Neuro, oh, maybe I did miss this one. But I don't. Maybe capital raising? No, they didn't release anything. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Well, I don't remember that, but I don't remember Neuroscientific releasing anything. But there was nothing here. Look at the turnover. So low turnover. So most of these companies are illiquidly traded, and this is just noise. And the only company I could even think about discussing is if we go to market cap, oh, it's not working. Sometimes does this. If you go to the market cap, I'm going to discuss Telix. Looks like it has bounced pretty nicely. The only company I really could discuss was Silver Mines. They did a couple raising. It just shows you there's nothing really to talk about when it comes to losers. And in fact, the share price is that the right one? SVL, yeah. Even then, why am I going to? It's just capital raising. There's just nothing here, apart from Coventry Group and Telix, which both those companies are in my top 5. So I don't really need to discuss anything here. So let's move on. Let's move on to the top 5 stocks of the day, and we'll start off with Coventry Group. Share price down 5.4%. It was down a little bit more than this. In fact, share price was down almost 10%. And that's one of the reasons why it is in the top 5 stocks. They did release a trading update. And whenever a company releases a trading update, I am going to read it. And I'm going to pay more attention to trading updates than any other type of announcement apart from financial results, because trading updates are the most powerful type of announcement. So let's have a look at Coventry Group. It was a negative update. In fact, some interesting commentary, words, verbal usage, whatever you want to call it. In fact, they say here, the group's financial performance in financial year 25 was poor, particularly in the second half. Well, that's not a good start, is it? Sales were down year on year, reflecting softer market conditions across Australia and New Zealand, the distraction and impact of the implementation of the new ERP system, and a failure of sales growth strategies to deliver the anticipated results. Pleasingly, gross margins continue to do well, continue to be well managed. However, the group's cost base is clearly too high relative to gross profit, leading to poor net margin outcomes. So what a start to this particular announcement. And yeah, so a negative update from Coventry Group, and the share price is down. Now, in saying all that, if you have a look at the chart, it seems like the market knew this. And sometimes the market is quite wise. And look at this chart for Coventry Group. Share price has been a downtrend for quite a while, particularly from about November last year. Share price has just kept on falling. In fact, it's halved. So it seems like the market knew this was going to happen. And yeah, sometimes the market is wise. And that's why technical analysis can be really helpful, because it keeps you out of these sort of situations where your capital is destroyed. Sort of like Telix Pharmaceuticals. And maybe I should learn from, I should listen to myself. Anyway, so Coventry Group share price down a fair bit. If you have a look at the weekly chart, share price, last time share price was this low was back in 2020. Now, the lows in that COVID-19 panic were about 50 cents. So that's a nice little support level for Coventry Group, about 50 cents. So not far to go from here. But definitely, if you have a look at this weekly chart, definitely not a high-quality company, not the sort of company you want to own for the long term. Yeah, just look at it. In fact, the record high share price for this company was in 2014. We're talking about a decade ago. Anyway, so that's Coventry Group, negative trading update. Telix Pharmaceuticals, this is interesting. And I think there's a bit of panicking happening today. I think there was a fair bit of panic selling today. Share price went to a low of $16. And I just did not understand this. So they released an announcement that titled Historical Financials in USD and First Half 2025 OPEX, operational expenditure, unaudited. Now, I don't think the numbers were that, it was just, what do you call it? They recast their financial information into US dollars. That's all they're doing. But they also had this operating expenditure, how they've increased that, significantly increased that, which is not necessarily a negative thing. Now, one of the reasons they've increased their operating expenditure is because of some acquisitions they have made. So they advise that operating expenditure, excluding investment in research and development, is expected to be approximately 36% of revenue in the first half. This reflects expanded business activities and the company's ongoing strategy to reinvest earnings in commercial growth and pipeline development opportunities. Okay, so not necessarily a negative thing. And all of a sudden, the share price was down on open by a significant amount. I actually went to Hot Copper. See if I can find it. Hot Copper TLX, and there was a little bit of confusion there as well. And also, what the sort of comment I hate. In fact, one said, why bother with this? How is this market price sensitive? I think they had to report on operating expenditure increase for 2025. WTF, what is happening now? 10% on open. And then here we go from Hannibal 68. Honestly, the investors of Australia are beyond a joke. This nation is full of gamblers at best, and the way the ASX allows this platform to operate is beyond a joke. Slowly but surely moving my money to US. Exactly the sort of comment why I hate hot copper. Blaming everything except, and I've got 7 upvotes and 2 great analysis. It's not a great analysis. It's not a great analysis. It's the typical hot copper poster. Maybe not the typical, but anyway. The other thing I should mention is one of you bought some shares. Ben Hutchison bought some shares at 16.50. Bought some on impulse. I wish I was following Telix at this point. So I hope market doesn't make a fool of me. No, you're already up 10%, I think. You're up 10%. Yes, so that's great. This is the sort of thing you do look for sometimes, a really significant overreaction from the market. Share price at one point was down 20%. It made no sense, in my opinion. It absolutely made no sense. Now, one of the reasons why the share price was down is simply because there is a little bit of negative sentiment in this company right now, and that is sometimes all it takes. Now, this rapid increase in share price, or this bounce, is actually a really positive thing. If we go to the daily chart, yeah, the bounce is, this is actually really bullish one-day countersink. We have seen a rapid recovery in the share price today. So when you see that sort of countersink, that's actually quite bullish. So a lot of buying has happened. I still don't know why there's been so much interest in this company today. 1 minute chart. Look at this. So just selling, just massive panic. I'm going to call this panic selling. Share price got down to $16 at 10.17 within 17 minutes. I just wish I was following this and wish I would be brave enough to take a position at that point. Will add to my position. And the share price has continued to rise during the day. I can almost guarantee you someone sold at 16 and they're just regretting the decision because share price is up, what's that, $2.38 divided by 16, times that by 6. We're talking about 14% rise in share price from the bottom. Yeah, so congratulations, Ben Hutchison. Fantastic. Anyway, I still think this was an overreaction from the market. But again, if you have a look at the daily chart, you can see the share price is in a bit of a funk. And this is all it takes sometimes. It's all it takes is a little bit of negative sentiment and you can see the share price drive down. But when you see this sort of reaction from the market, intraday reaction, that's actually can be a good sign. Now, I just want to see a follow through over the next few days. Okay. Now onto the good news of the day, starting with a small company called Recon, which is a company I've followed for over 10 years. It's an accounting, it's a software accounting sort of company. Share price up 11.54% on their half-year results. Never really paid much attention to this company. I've always thought that Xero was going to destroy this company in that sort of way. And then I had a look at these results and I was like, actually not bad. Revenue growth of 16%, EBITDA growth of 21%, and profit growth of 35%. So my first thought was, wow, I expected no growth or anything like that. Not that I had any expectations when it comes to this company. So the other thing is this company has a market cap of 70 million now. 70 million? 65.71 million. So market cap of 65.7 million, but in the half year, they reported revenue 33% up, EBITDA 14 million, half year. So if you analyze that, which you probably shouldn't do, this company is currently trading on just above 2 times EBITDA. Profit of 4 million, 35% higher. So this company, if you analyze that, again, you probably shouldn't do that, 8 million. Company is on a PE ratio of 8. Operating cash flow from 4.3 million to 6.2 million. Debt, a little bit of debt, and a dividend of 2.5 cents per share. Yeah, and I did go through this, and they are a little bit more than what I thought they were. Here we go. So they have this legal group and business group. They still have what I thought they did, which is, so they say they provide world-class software for startups, sole traders, SMEs, accountants, bookkeepers, and lawyers. And yeah, so they provide accounting and payroll software for small to medium-sized businesses. So I always thought that particular side of the business was under threat. But they also have a legal group operates under the NQ ZebraWorks brand. So it's a document and billing workflow company that leverages the power of its ZebraWorks cloud-based integration platform. So this company is a little bit more than what I thought they were now. And even the business group, this accounting software, is actually growing as well. I'm very surprised about this particular results from Record. And I think the market must be as well, just based off the valuation metrics. Anyway, what else? Yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about when it comes to Recon, I think. Should we have a look at their half-year accounts? And I will say that I always look at the Appendix 4D first, or the 4E first. And this is actually the first thing I saw, this little table. And I was like, whoa, hello, Reckon. And then I'll go through the financial statements fairly quickly. I don't want to bore you in this video, but nothing of massive, no massive red flags, I suppose you could say, in the profit and loss, balance sheet, no massive red flags. You might say intangible assets of 44 million does seem to be quite high, but you can have a look at note 11 if you want a breakdown of that. Not much debt, and then cash flow statement. Nice cash flow, $13.9 million of cash flow. Payment for capitalized development cost, 7.7. So the company was free cash flow positive of about $6 million for the half year. So yeah, I can definitely understand why the market has had a positive reaction. I might have even expected the share price to be up even a little bit more. So let's have a look at the chart for Reckon. Is this a breakout? By the way, the weekly chart goes back a long time. You can just say this is just, yeah, I think the market has been aware that this could be a company under threat. So over the last 12, I think I started following this company probably would have been 2012. At that point in time, share price was $2.50. Now it's 58 cents. And this is not the sort of weekly chart that, it's not a good weekly chart. I'm not sure what happened in November 2022. Share price dropped a lot. So either a negative update or maybe capital return. But the share price is at a low or near a low. So long-term low is around about 40 cents. So it's just above that long-term low. If we have a look at the daily chart, share price has rebounded nicely. Whether you could constitute this as a breakout remains to be seen. Nice volume coming through today. Anyway, so this could be the start of something exciting for Recon, ticker code RKN. Okay, Electric Optic Systems coming in at number 2. Maybe should be the stock of the day. Share price up 43%. So maybe it should be the stock of the day. I can almost guarantee you if they released this announcement 3 months ago, share price wouldn't be up nearly as much as 43%. So they secured order for 100 kilowatt high power laser weapon, 125 million. The reason I say I don't think the share price would be up as much as that, they've released these sort of announcements before. 19th of May, a $53 million contract. 19th of May, how much did the share price go up that day? Went up 14.73%. But if we go back further, I'm pretty sure this company has released pretty big announcements in the past, and we haven't seen any sort of reaction. Here we go. No, that's a divestment. Maybe I'm kidding myself when I say, maybe that I'm just picking and choosing what to do. That's 9 million. 24 million. Okay, maybe I'm being a little bit unfair. And maybe this is a really good announcement. No, because most of the other announcements I can see in the past year have been a little bit smaller than this one. Anyway, so in saying all that, this is a pretty nice contract win with, I think it was an EU country, something like that. World's first export order for 100 kilowatt class laser defense system, valued at 71.4 million euros. And I'm pretty sure they do say, they don't mention the country, but they just say it's in the EU somewhere. I'm pretty sure they say that somewhere in this particular announcement. I did go through this. Here it is, placed by a European NATO member state. There you go. Anyway, so a laser counter drone thing. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for Electro Optics. And this is now a brilliant chart. By the way, this is a company I do own. And fortunes have really turned for this company recently. So share price broke out. This is a brilliant breakout. Should have been paying a little bit more attention. A brilliant breakout on the 19th of May. In fact, that was that original announcement I mentioned. So that was a breakout. Massive volume coming through that day. Share price went above the resistance level. And then the next day, share price rose again on pretty big volume as well. And look what's happened since then. A beautiful developing chart. Massive volume coming through today as well. And their share price, a little bit of a pullback, which is sort of understandable. And now, what a chart. Now, if you have a look at the weekly chart, however, there was a lot of interest in this company in 2019, and I was holding through that period. Then I sold. I'm going to say it. I sold at $10. Not completely. I decided to sell. I think it was like 75% of my holding at $10. I thought the company was looking a little bit rich, but I did not sell completely, and I've held on. So I've held on all the way down from $10 to $1. I've traded it. So I've traded it off and on again, and I'm still holding. So, and look at the volume. Look at the massive volume. Look at that volume. So volume does matter. And just look at the volume since that 19th of May announcement and compare that volume to what we saw before. A lot of interest in this company, and the share price has just taken off. Would I trade this right now? Maybe not. And I've got a position, so I'm happy with that position. Anyway, so Electro Optic system coming in number 2 on a massive increase on a contract win. But I'm pretty sure if there wasn't positive momentum behind the share price and the chart, I don't think the share price would be up this much. Okay, coming in at number 1 is Credit Corp. Share price up 16.19%. Now, the share price is a little bit off from the highs. I actually saw their results, and I was thinking, maybe I should take a position in Credit Corp today. I did not. I was pleased. I was happy with these results. Not the sort of company I would own for the long term, however. Okay, I'll just look at the media release for this. I had no knowledge of any sort of expectations for these results. So when I look at results and I don't have any expectations, I just have a feeling. And my thoughts when it came to Credit Corp was, these are pretty good. These are pretty good. I'm pretty sure I did look at they also have guidance for financial year 26. I can't remember what I looked at first. It must have been, was it the Appendix 4E? Yeah, it would have been this first. So revenue up 14.6% and profit up 85.6% to 94 million. So again, it's how these results compare to expectations is the most important thing. And any sort of outlook is also very important. So with the share price up, there's a chance that these results were better than expected. And I just don't know. And what you can do is just have a look. I could ask ChatGPT. Credit Corp shares saw on full-year result financial year 26 outlook. And sometimes they will just mention if the results beat expectations, they don't. Oh, no, here we go. 80% jump in full-year profit, shy of market estimates of 94.8. So it actually missed expectations, yet the share price is up for 16%. So maybe it's just a financial year 26 outlook because they are targeting a nice increase in profit for the next financial year. Okay, so 12% increase on the midpoint. The midpoint is 12% increase. So I'm thinking maybe it's just their financial year 26 because their results missed expectations. Okay, so that's Credit Corp. So let's have a look at the chart for Credit Corp. And the reason I was thinking of maybe taking a position in Credit Corp just today was just this reaction. Now, this is the weekly chart. So first thing I should mention here, the 100-week moving average has been acting as resistance for Credit Corp since about middle of 2022. We have seen the share price get to this particular moving average once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th time. Now, it did break through it back in July 2023 and then fell back, and I would maybe assume this little drop in share price in July, early August 2023, was their results. It disappointed the market. So that was sort of a false breakout. But definitely, over the last 3 years, the 100-week moving average has been acting as resistance. Hopefully it's fairly obvious to you. Today, we have seen a breakout. We saw that again back in 2023. So this could be a nice little breakout just based off this particular chart. Now, where the share price is now, there is a little bit of resistance as well. So keep that in mind. So let's have a look at this rectangle. So there is a bit of resistance sort of in this level right there, because we saw the share price rally into that zone back in February of last year, also back in December of last year, and you can see the share price could not get above that zone. So it is in a resistance zone right now. So the weekly chart is looking good with a potential breakout from a downtrend line, which is the 100-week moving average. Daily chart starting to look okay. But again, you can see the share price has moved into that resistance zone. So there is a bit of resistance in this area. And that's probably why we've seen a little bit of selling today. So share price is a little bit up from its highs, which was 1850, which funny enough was the highs almost exactly the share price saw or the company saw back in November. So some people say, well, technical analysis doesn't work. We have seen the share price pull back from the highs this company saw back in November last year. Anyway, so that is definitely a bit of a resistance zone and a resistance price for this company. If I had to guess, and guessing, I would say the share price is going to go higher from here. I'm going to say right now, I think Credit Corp share price will go higher from here. I think this is a good enough announcement and a reaction from the market that we're going to see the share price rally from here. We might see some upgrades from analysis based off their financial year 26 guidance, which I've not shown you, by the way. Here it is. So here's their financial year 26 guidance. So PDL acquisitions up 27%, NPAT up 12%, and earnings per share up 12% as well. So nice growth for this company expected in financial year 26. Okay, now on to the chart of the day, which came from one of your comments. Korvest. 9-slide glide says there's a lot to like about the Korvest and clean space charts. I'm pretty sure that's clean space. Clean space. Yep, clean space. Korvest. So I do or am a shareholder of Korvest. They did release results. I did a video on Korvest that will be released in the next month and a bit. And because I am a shareholder of this company, I actually didn't really know this was happening. And they released results, and the results were really good. And maybe I'm now saying they're really good because of reaction from the market, but I'm pretty sure in my video I said they're pretty good results. Probably better than I thought that was going to happen, particularly based off the half-year results. Half-year results were a little bit disappointing. But anyway, share price broke above this resistance zone back just before they released results. Look at that little break just above it. You can just see the share price just staying above it. That's a good sign. And then the company released results and the share price has taken off, up another 3.52% today. And the share price at $13.84. And I'll even say that this company is not overvalued at this level because the P ratio might be like 13, 14. Yeah. Anyway, so beautiful breakout. Probably my one concern would be the share price has rallied a lot. So I would anticipate and expect a little bit of a pullback. Now, there's also a chance the share price could just consolidate over a little bit of time. But you're not going to see the share price rally like this too much. It's just unsustainable. So eventually we're going to see the share price pull back or consolidate. If the share price consolidates, go sideways, that is really healthy. And when I say consolidate, I mean go, can I draw? I don't think I've ever drawn. I think, can I do a pencil somewhere? Here we go, brush. See if this works. The share price might go like this, which for me is consolidation, not like that. Anyway, you know what I mean. So just consolidation doesn't mean it has to go straight across in a straight line. You could see a little bit of a pullback and a little bit of rally, pullback, rally. So I'd love to see that for Korvest. That would be very positive. I'm going to see if we've seen that in the past. So like this little rally. Oh, got to get rid of that. No, get rid of that. No. I've got to get rid of you. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. You can see back in July 2024, share price rallied. Look at that rally. Really good rally. Share price went from 860 to 1120. And then we saw the pullback. You can see a pullback. And I bought on that pullback. Yes, I bought on that pullback. And I was not in the green for ages. I'm just trying to find a significant rise in share price and then the share price going sideways. And don't see it much here. You can see these rallies and the share price pulls back. Look at that, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback. Bit of a rally, then pullback. Rally, pullback. Rally, pullback. Okay, so that's Korvest and the chart of the day. And thank you for Slide Guide who mentioned this, because I had a look at it and went, whoa, whoa, there you go, go Korvest. That's all I have for this particular video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.